Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Mother leaves baby in-house to attend illegal party. A team of firefighters was called to extinguish a blaze that destroyed a section of a house in Waterford, Portmore, St. Catherine on Saturday. Reports are that, while fighting to bring the fire under control, it was found that a mother had left her 4-month-old baby in the house to attend an illegal party that was taking place at 1 a.m. during curfew hours. Sources claim that while firefighters were battling to put out the blaze, they heard music blaring away at a party in the wee hours of the morning. Another source from the first responders team said while officials were at the location trying to bring the fire under control, a woman was seen running towards the blazing house, crying out that her child was in the house. The first responder would later disclose the development on social media page. Follow up to 1 a.m. fire. So a woman come running breathless from the party, her baby was in the house. Look like 4 months old. And a balbo wami fido me a tremble, the first responder posted on his social media page. Reports are that the child was recovered from the building and was unharmed. Police have not yet disclosed the end results of their investigation into the matter. Pastors lament continued Sunday no movement. Pastors on the western end of the island are expressing dissatisfaction with the government's decision to keep Sunday as a no-movement day until October 28. They argued that despite the gathering allowance on no-movement days, the church is essentially locked down. Only Sundays will remain no-movement days, effective September 18 to October 28, with the exception of the National Heroes Day on October 18. Places of worship will continue to be restricted to 20 persons in attendance, and Sunday worshippers are required to have an authorization form issued by their church in order to attend face-to-face services. But Bishop Dalton Collins of the Faith International Harvest Church in Falmouth, Trelawney, says he is extremely disappointed in the government, citing an attempt to undermine the church.
Recent implementation of Sunday being the only lockdown day has really just reflected a sense of insensitivity to Jamaicans and to the Christian community in Jamaica. And it also reflects a lack of consultation on the part of the government, with the church, which is the major stakeholder in this case, and also has been a major stakeholder in the promotion of vaccination and informing people about vaccines. I know that there are situations that differ, but primarily all the major church heads in Jamaica have been partnering with the government in press conferences and so on to promote vaccine. And for him to establish Sunday as the only lockdown day is a slap in the face.
The clergyman says not only does the move show lack of consultation on the part of the government, but he says the Prime Minister has displayed a lack of sensitivity.
On the previous occasion, just before this announcement, he simply just said worship online in addressing the church. And I find that that was really just callous and insensitive. And on this occasion, when seemingly calculatedly they decide to lock down the church on a Sunday, or to have lockdown day on a Sunday, is indeed unfortunate, to say the least. And it reflects a lack of consultation and maybe a sense of desperation.
He says an apology and an explanation are owed to the church community.
I would want to think that if he has to, and think the technocrats informed him sufficiently for him to make this decision, then the church community in Jamaica deserves an explanation, not that kind of total disregard and disrespect for the church community. I am disappointed, to say the least.
He says an apology and an explanation are owed to the church community. Meanwhile, the bishop says churches are willing to partner with the government to operate as vaccination sites.
Should the vaccinated be treated differently from the unvaccinated? Prime Minister Andrew Holness hinted earlier this week that citizens who have vaccinated against COVID-19 and those who have not could experience differential treatment in the future. Holness, who said the practice has emerged across the world for public health reasons, said Jamaicans must bear their responsibility to protect themselves, their families, and the general population. It can't be that I do my national duty and get vaccinated, and someone who shirks their responsibility and duty, sometimes for no genuine reason other than ignorance and deliberate malicious intent, gets to go by a free ride. Every citizen has to bear some responsibility and has a duty to get our citizens out of this crisis. Whilst I respect the views of persons who are genuinely scared or hesitant, at some point in time reasons must take over, Holness said. Jamaicans in the corporate era, however, for the most part, believe if such measures are put in place, it would be unfair. Ripper the barber, I take my vaccine already and all of that, 2 shots of them for that matter. Me no feel the government fi treat anybody differently, from me we take it. We all know that even some of them, we a put up the rules them, not even them not take the vaccine either, and them a do the same thing like everybody. Where him a go try and go around and help out the people them, where them a locked down like a cage. Him need to get them some food and whatsoever them can do to help them, because this thing is serious. Patrick Wright, owner of Godspeed Car Wash in Kingston, said if you are vaccinated, you should be in a different syndicate or category different from the unvaccinated. Me no think that right still. Me no go for that, because at the end of the day, we are one people. It's not like this is an island split in two, like Haiti and Dominican Republic. They should find a way to get them to understand. Then again, if it is a thing where some people get sick while some won't, I think you should force them to obey social distancing, the wearing of masks and curfew, but don't lock down the place. Daniel Dixon, a nursing student, said, I think it is unfair because there is something called human rights. To Sonia Mullins, nursing student, I don't think it is fair because everybody has their own opinion, and if somebody don't want to do it, what is the sense of forcing them? Some people may not like the fact that they're being forced, and some people believe in a different things. Shara stated, everybody have their own opinion and can express them feeling. If we don't want to take the vaccines, him cannot force if we take it. As Jamaicans, we have to express ourselves. Them say freedom of speech, so we have to talk for our rights. And if we don't want to take the vaccine, no one should force me to take the vaccine. Mobile Vox unit pops up in New Kingston.
The unit aims to give greater access to vaccines by going into high-density areas. AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson were being offered on site. Permanent Secretary for the Ministry, Dunstan Bryan, explained the logistics of a mobile setup.
In every vaccination site, we have 5 main areas. We have our registration area, we have our counseling area, we have our vaccine administration area, and then we have our observation area, and finally, our documentation area. That's when you receive your vaccination card. What you see set up here is that once we get into a physical space, we establish those different component parts of the vaccination program.
When our news team arrived around 12 noon, over 100 people were already vaccinated. Some heard about the bus from colleagues, while others made the decision to get vaccinated on the spot.
Yeah, I was passing by and they stopped me and asked me if I want to take the vaccine. I told them yeah, but I'm scared. So they told me I wouldn't even feel it. I'm scared of injection, period. When I get the vaccine, I didn't even feel it.
Since the crowd at the pop-up site is smaller, persons were able to get through faster.
This setup is actually faster because I went to one of the where they call it, clinic, yeah, where it was being administered, but it was very crowded, so I had to go home. So I decided to come today.
Each of the 2 buses accommodates 5 persons at a time with consideration for social distancing. The bus made its first stop in Waterloo St. Andrew on Saturday.
Jamaica celebrate relaxation of no movement days. Richard Pandoni, immediate past president of the Jamaica Manufacturer and Export Association, JMEA, is celebrating the relaxation of weekend lockdown days by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. In an interview on Thursday, Richard said the last 3 weeks have been extremely difficult for manufacturers and the nation, and that the ease in restrictions will give many struggling small businesses a chance to regain their footing. On August 19, Holness announced 7 days of no movement that the general public was mandated to observe in an attempt to contain the spread of the novel coronavirus. These days were Sunday, August 22nd, Monday, August 23rd, Tuesday, August 24, Sunday, August 29, Monday, August 30, Tuesday, August 31st, and Sunday, September 5th. The Prime Minister then extended the no movement days to Monday, September 6, Tuesday, September 7, Sunday, September 12, Monday, September 13, and Tuesday, September 14, easing the frustration caused by the lockdowns. Holness said the measures would be removed effective today and will be replaced with daily curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. Mondays to Fridays and from 6 p.m. on Saturdays to Mondays at 5 a.m. Sundays alone will be no movement days. According to Richard, the small businesses were suffering, their cash flow is disseminated. Businesses can't operate like that and still exist. It is just not possible, so I think that will help businesses to get back and try to at least keep afloat to reduce the level of their losses. Richard continued, what was more concerning to me was the days that were no movement days, which were jam-packed and everybody just bundled everywhere. It was very difficult to understand the objective because it seemed as if you lock down and restrict, and then you create this environment where people were then forced to congregate in huge crowds just to get things done. Reporters visited business establishments in downtown and other parts of Kingston to get feedback from workers and the general public on the relaxation of the lockdown measures. Most of those interviewed expressed satisfaction and indicated that the decision of the new measures will better suit them and their families financially. Mr. Morris, a taximan who operates from downtown Kingston to Bull Bay in St. Thomas, says he loves how the Prime Minister lifted the no movement days because persons weren't seeing any money. He said, the new measure is something that the people can work with and one that will allow people to survive and feel better. Farmer and vendor Mr. Smallwood, who journeyed to Kingston from St. Thomas to sell breadfruit and other produce he reaped from his farm, said the relaxation of the no movement days and curfew hours will benefit the poor class of Jamaicans who have been struggling. The relaxation will benefit us and may appreciate it. The poor class of people were affected during the lockdowns, and if you look on the other side, the rich class are benefit from tourism in almost the same way, and it is like nothing no really changed for them, he stated. Downtown Kingston vendor of scallion, onions and other items, David Rodney, said that he plans to make good use of the curfew relaxation. Me feel little better because we can get something and enjoy myself, he said. One of his customers, Stacey Foster, said she anticipates the benefits that the changes will bring to herself and her family. Me feel good because me free from the prison. Him lock we down and him not give we $1 and him not send no food to the people them. So what him left with we do? We have rent, light bill, internet and all those things, and we have children. One woman, who gave her name as Latifah Wheeler, suggested that the Prime Minister could have implemented a 2 p.m. curfew on Sunday to facilitate churchgoers. Rising dengue cases plague central parishes.
After the heavy rains, some parishes have seen an increase in mosquitoes, which have subsequently led to an increase in dengue cases. Chief Public Health Inspector for St. Elizabeth, Everard Lewis, says the parish's Aedes aegypti index was at 10% for the month of August. He says after visiting 7,000 homes for the period, they recognized that 711 premises were positive. Lewis says he is aware of the challenges right across St. Elizabeth, areas which are now breeding mosquitoes. However, he says the health department and the vector unit continue to work to correct the growing problem. In the meantime, this is not a river or pond, but a plot of land in Clarendon, where water has settled after Tropical Storm Ida.
The water from the Mucka Mountains drain here as well to this area. But what we need is like more drains. It is going to take a lot of funding to put in the adequate amount of drainage system. With the construction now of the new highway, right, that also is going to create some more problems.
Residents say this has bred the vectors that have been constant nuisances since water has settled. Mayor for Maypen, Winston Mirage, says though the health department is out doing the fogging, he's encouraging residents to do their part in eliminating breeding grounds for mosquitoes. He suggested putting fish in these settled waters can help.
The entire parish is now seeing mosquito breeding. So it's difficult for all the teams from the health department to go into all the areas all at once. So therefore it means that citizens will have to take their own initiative and to do some oiling as well. And remember, any old oil can be thrown into any water that is settled with surrounding you.
Paige Dixon, CVM Live.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.